thanks for coming. Like I can see that we have not only students from London, but also Shasta, Niagara, so I appreciate you all for making the drive. I can also see a lot of places that I'm not too familiar with, so that's just a good sign that the school is growing. You might not know, for the few years back, 2008, 2009, I was coming here every month, so I followed quite closely the growth of Fernandes School, and then I'm quite happy and honored to be part of it. And for me to come here and teach, it's not very different than when I teach at my school. I don't see you guys any different than I see at my students. So this school here is very special to me, and then I come here with all I hope you guys will enjoy today as much as I will. Right. So let's get started, right? One of the guards that are not used that much nowadays anymore is the butterfly guard, unfortunately. Me more than anybody else, resent that fact because that's always my favorite kind of guard, right? And the reason for that is simple, right? People usually don't stay on their knees anymore. Right? They will be on their feet, rightly so, right? Looking for dominating your legs, putting you in your back, right? Then doing all the leg drags, right? Or knees to the side, that kind of sort of like a modern, pool fight variation of guard passes, So, and I always said to my students in the past, that if you're doing guard, you're looking for control of the guy's upper body, right? And if you're passing guard, you're looking for control of the guy's lower body, right? But now, that's kind of changed a bit, So every time the guy stands, I'll be looking for some sort of leg control, right? Because if I'm controlling his arms only, the only thing he needs to do is to step that leg back, and then I'm gone, right? So, if I'm not controlling his legs yet, I'm gonna keep my knees very close to my body, right? But then if he walks around, I have my knee to protect. I won't let him take my leg out of the way like this, right? So kind of like a self-defense position, right? When you position yourself this way. So if he wants to play, I'm gonna have some grips on him as well. I'm gonna keep my knee close to my chest and not letting him extend my leg and bring it away from me, right? So then when he comes close, I'll try to kind of wrap his leg, and as soon as I can, I'm gonna go for this grip, right? So De La Riva is pretty popular nowadays because it is the start of a bunch of guards that people like doing, right? So we can go behind, you can move like you see it, right? So you can spin in and go for our next guard, right? Or you can do all the berimbolo stuff, that people do nowadays. Right? And I'm gonna show you a very simple variation if we get started into that game if we haven't done so, right? So basics of the De La Riva guard, right? So gotta hold his foot, right? All the time. This is more important than anything else, right? So if you keep a control of this foot, it will take him a little longer, right? To be in a more advantageous position, right? So next thing that you should be concerned about is your other leg, right? Because this is the gate, right? So you're controlling this leg, right? But if he dominates this leg and puts it between his legs, he will get a half guard, right? Or even worse, if he pulls you inside, and then he's gonna get the guard pass right away, even if I still control his foot, right? So this is the number one thing for you to care about, right? And the second one is what's gonna happen with your other leg, right? And this is not very challenging, because your leg is pretty strong. He's gonna use his arms to overpower my leg. It's not gonna happen, right? Just keep that knee close to you, right? And then if I have to choose where my legs are going to be, I always choose between his legs. Because if you accomplish what he's wanting, I'm still gonna have a half guard. So it's not nearly as bad as having my leg dragged. So today, basically, we're gonna work on a lot of sweeps that you can do, all coming out of this position, right? So we're gonna spin backwards, gonna spin forward, we're gonna be doing a lot of things, right? So the first one, I'm gonna bring him forward. I'm gonna force him to step forward the left leg, right? So. And then you're gonna do so, either by having a grip and then move him forward like this. But I find it a lot more efficiently, if you use your other leg, you basically have your foot right on his bump, push him forward like this. If you're not so strong, I suggest you do a floppy triangle here with your legs, right? All the way low. You don't need to go on your knees, right? Like this, and then you extend both legs, force him to step forward. This is pretty inevitable, right? Most people do that, especially if it's a surprise your opponent, right? So he's there, looking to push your legs down, and then just, bring him up, right?
And because one leg strapped, the only way for him to regain his balance is to step this leg forward, right? So boom, there we go, and then I trap, right? As low as you can, like don't go very high, otherwise you're gonna allow him to sprawl that leg, right? Like, I mean, that's a major mistake that most people do when they get into the X guard, right? Low is the key. It's like, oh, the guy's gonna knee my chest. It's better, right? I mean, it's better than if he knees on your chest than if he knees on the ground. That's when he escapes, right? Knee on your chest, easy. All you need to do is to roll, and then all the weight is off, right? If he knees on the ground, you lose control, right? So one leg's controlled, the other one as well. If you can reach your lapel, even better. But most of the time I find it hard, so I don't even bother, right? So, of course, it's an option like to switch to an X guard here, right? But there are two problems with this. Like, I mean, first, it takes too much time. And the second one is like for people that are not so flexible on the hips, it is a bit challenging, you know, like, I mean, for you to do this, right? And if you have long legs, it's even worse, you know? So I suggest you do the following, right? Like, I mean, so this leg that's in the middle, right? You're just gonna bring your knee out like this and start pushing him away, right? So you're gonna look away from him and just start sitting up, bringing his legs with you. It's a pretty simple move, pretty fast as well, right? So your hip frames in like here, but everything is nice and tight, right? I mean, so framing your legs like this also increases the power like a big deal, and makes it harder for him to push your leg forward, right? So this arm is free, and whenever boom, shut the leg, and then knee to the outside, push it that way. And as you come up, right, like, I mean, you're on top already. Don't let go of this leg too soon, right? Like, I mean, I see a lot of my students getting excited and let it go and worry about other things. This leg is what prevents him from bouncing back, right? And competition nowadays, you know, like, I mean, harder than sweeping someone is keeping him on his back for 3 seconds after that happens, you know? Like, I mean, so if you're controlling that leg, it makes the job a little bit easier, all right? Once again, start pretty simple, right? This is locked, right? So then we 4-4, trap, push, and come up, and then finish the position, having his leg with you, right? The other one you can let go as you start to come up, because you might want to post that arm on the ground to give you like an extra leverage to come up. All right? So let's get started, guys. If you have any problems, just raise your hand or I need to help.
Right legs like this.